G'day, sweaty legends. We're back with chapter 6. So, a little bit going on. Creed and Elle are having at it, and Ruth and Tobias have met in the middle. So let's see where this takes Tobias. I wonder what path he'll take this time. Chapter 6. I listened to her pathetic little sounds as she cried and whimpered, hating how every part of me actually ached the same. But we weren't the same, not even close. I went to my room and closed the door behind me. Hate filled me as I threw my keys on the dresser and kicked off my boots. This was just the fucking betrayal I needed. I'd known was coming. I was actually surprised he'd waited this long. I bet he couldn't wait for Mum to die, couldn't wait to move on and fuck other women out in the open at least. I knew damn well he didn't give a shit when she was still alive, but why did it have to be her? Why did it have to be that little bitch's mother? I yanked my shirt free as the sound of her sobs reached me, making me clench my fists and turn to glare at the door. Shut the fuck up or I'll give you something to cry about, I muttered under my breath. The sounds grew quieter, leaving me to turn my back to my bed. I unbuttoned my jeans, kicked them off and climbed between the sheets. But I didn't close my eyes. Instead, I stared up to the ceiling, their grunts and moans taking up space inside my head. But it was her haunted eyes that burned through those fucking sounds. The whites almost neon in the dark. The way she jerked her head towards me as I stepped into her view. I didn't know why I wanted her to see me, why I wanted her to feel as betrayed as I felt, why I wanted to share that moment, the brutal fucking moment. I closed my eyes and turned to my side and a wave of perfume hit me. Vanilla. I opened my eyes, finding the pale blur in the dark, her panties. Soft, worn, cotton fucking panties only a good girl wore. I licked my lips. Panic taking flight inside me as I drew them close. In my head, those sounds of our parents became ours. My tiny, tiny little mouse. I grew hard at the fantasy. But she wasn't so compliant. No, in my head, she bucked and writhed, fighting to hold on to her virtue. I clenched my fists around the fabric as my balls grew tight and became hard. There was something about her that made me like this, like a blinding light for my darkness. And I was darkness, desperate to consume. But I didn't reach for my cock this time. Instead, I let the fantasy play in my mind, and the more vibrant it became, the more I realized I wanted her. I wanted that tiny little mouse. To see her squirm, to watch her cheeks redden, to stare into the reflection of my own pain in her eyes. I wanted her to feel like I felt, hurt, abandoned, betrayed. I wanted to make her fucking buck and cry. I wanted to fucking humiliate her. A pang tore through my chest at the savagery. I closed my eyes and inhaled deep, letting her ruin play out in my head, and I finally slept. My eyes burned when I awoke. My heart hammered, panic moving through me as I wrenched open my eyes and shoved upright. I glanced around my darkened room, finding nothing but the murky gloom. What the fuck? I clenched my fists around something soft and looked down. White. I blinked, fighting the blur, and looked again. White panties. And all of a sudden, it hit me. Last night, the sounds coming from my father's bedroom, the fist in my gut returned as revulsion slammed into me, then charged, becoming harder and colder. I glanced at the doorway, then looked down at my fist, turning into something that scared me and excited me all at the same time. I kicked off the sheets and rose, made my way out of my room and headed for the bathroom to take a piss. When I was done, I turned and headed for Nick's, shoved open the door and stepped inside, kicking a pair of black lace panties as I went. He was asleep, one arm wrapped around Natalie, who was naked and sprawled out beside him. Her big tits splayed to the side, the dark brown nipples soft and smooth. I crept closer, dragging my gaze from her breast to her round stomach and her shaved mound. There was still nothing, no surge of desire, not even a twitch of my cock. She may as well have been a dude. Hey! I jerked my brother. Get the fuck up. Piss off, he muttered without even opening his eyes. I kicked the side of the bed, drawing a moan from my brother's girlfriend. We need to fucking talk. Nick, she moaned and rolled over. Make the bad man go away. The bad man? I glared at Natalie as Nick cracked open his eyes. What the fuck is it? I just glanced at the bitch next to him, then met his glare once more. Fine, he groaned and gave her a shove. Nat, time to go. Jesus, really? She bitched, then gave a long, deep groan and opened her eyes, stabbing me with a glare as she pushed up from the bed. You know, you really suck all the happiness from the world, Tobias. Nice to see you too, Natalie, I muttered, give my best to Derek. A pillow sailed through the air, hitting me in the stomach, and Natalie just snarled as she swiped her clothes from the floor before yanking them on in a huff. I paid her no mind. Instead, I stared at my brother, who watched her with zero fucking interest until she yanked open his bedroom door and stormed out. Well done. Now I'll have her bitching at me for the goddamn week next week over you being a fucking prick. Why was she here in the first place? She cheated on you. It was a mistake, he mumbled as he looked away. Which time? Sparks of rage burned in his glare. Fuck you, Tobias. The problem was, he was angry at the wrong person. I heard the way she begged him to take it back, telling him it was all a misunderstanding. At first, until the truth came out, then there were tears, and like the doormat he was, Nick had taken her back. But it was only a matter of time before she did it again. If not with Derek Carmichael, then some other fucking schmuck. The front door slammed shut with a boom. You can do better. And you can shut the fuck up, he barked and shoved the sheets aside. What the fuck do you know about love anyway? You love her? Really? He just curled his lips and flipped me off as he hunted around for his boxes. What the fuck was so goddamn important that you had to ruin my sleep anyway? Dad's fucking someone. He stilled, then shot a surprised glare my way. What? Who? Who the fuck do you think, dickhead? It took him a whole second before it dawned. The woman downstairs? I just nodded. No way. He yanked on his boxes and ran his fingers through his hair. You're lying. Heard him last night. He swallowed, searched my eyes for the truth, and then rocked backwards. Jesus, her? Her, I answered carefully, and I wasn't the only one who heard them either. Caleb heard as well? Shook my head. No, not Caleb. It dawned on him then, and I saw the connection. The wince before he stalled hard, and he spoke again. His voice was husky. She heard her mum and our dad. I nodded. He tried to fight it, tried to drive away the image that rose, me, her, standing there listening to our parents fucking. What'd she do? He asked, slowly looking away. The stupid little bitch didn't know what it was, not at first. I caught the moans on my way to my bedroom before I heard her coming from the bathroom and down the stairs. She stopped when her mum told Dad to fuck her harder. Jesus. He licked his lips. She heard that? She did. A charge of excitement raced through me, pulsing, shivering. I didn't need to look to know I liked it, and by the way he swallowed and sucked in half breath, I knew he liked it too. She's just a kid. She's 18. A kid. I bet she's never been fucked. He closed his eyes. Tobias, don't you sick fuck. He moaned. I saw her wearing one of Caleb's t-shirts. Those perky little tits are hard. He shook his head and lowered it. No. Her mum is fucking our dad not even a month after ours died. I stated the facts. You think he's just going to move her out now? He's a good guy, my brother growled and lifted his head, meeting my gaze. You keep saying that. One day you might believe it. I strode closer. Fresh, young pussy, I continued. I bet you she's never even been licked. I bet she tastes perfect. Purer than Natalie, and I'd occupied the room next to my brother long enough to know he only liked to fuck. Not only did he like to fuck, but he liked to eat as well. Have you touched her? He asked, but this time there was no hint of disgust. This time, excitement raged in his eyes. Not yet, I answered, desire and anger bleeding into one. But I will. If Dad catches you, he'll kick you out. Not the first time, would it be? I met his stare. Besides, I won't do anything unless he does. If they move out, then I'll never look at Rith again. But if they don't, what then? Then I guess I'll have to take my anger out on her sweet young body, won't I? You're sick, he muttered, and you're just as excited. The only difference is you're too fucking weak to do anything about it. You'll just keep fucking the same bitch who cheats on you with other guys and pretend it's love. Get the fuck out, Tobias, my brother warned. Before I forget, we're blood and beat the living shit out of you. He'd do it too. I've seen him angry. Seen him drive his fist through a car window. And I've seen him walk away as well. But I'd never seen him so tortured as he was right now, as he licked his lips looking towards the doorway. He was thinking about it. Oh yeah, he was. His body was craving something his mind knew was wrong, and it was only a matter of time before one would win. The only question was, which one? All right, another short one, but very, very interesting. All the boys are getting in on it now. Looks like Riff's in for some trouble. But yeah, until next week, I will be posting another 3 chapters. So this is the 3rd chapter for this week. Since I have been MIA for so long, I'm terribly sorry. But yeah, until then, smutty reading, love, love.